Hi. Okay, we're putting the bike together. Now this one's already put together, but I'm gonna show you kind of where everything goes. So when you take it out of the box, it's gonna have the front wheel off. So you have to get some nice cutters like this or something you have, and snip off all the zip ties. There'll be zip ties all over the bike. Then the first thing you do is the fork will be backwards. So you gotta spin the wheel around so the fork is the right way around. Then, and you'll see that the fork is the right way around when it angles forward. The angle is going forward. You want this arm to be heading forward, not towards the back. So you'll spin it around. Then you take these off. Now it looks like you can put a Phillips head screwdriver in there. Don't do it. Use an 8mm instead. Works much better. It's an 8mm. And what you're doing is you're gonna put this front fender on first. And notice, the big tab goes on the front, then the bolt and washer go through, and then there's a washer and a lock nut that goes on the back side. This is 10mm. It's a little bit larger size, 10mm, but you'll need a 10mm on the back, and you'll need a 10mm on the front to tighten it up. You don't have to like crank it down, but get it real snug. And then the pedals. The pedals, you wanna know, when you open the pedals up, and you look at the ends of them, there'll be an L and an R. One stands for Larry and Ralph, but I like to say left and right. So the left pedal goes on the left side. Well, what side is the left side? So the left side is when you're sitting on the bike. So when you're sitting on the bike, it'll be on the left. Now, Larry, the left pedal, is reverse thread. So normally you go righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, but not with Larry. You go left tight, right loose. So go the opposite way and make sure the L pedal is on the left side when you're sitting on it. The R pedal goes on the right side. That just threads on normally, and make sure it's threading on in a straight line. You'll feel it. Do it with your fingers, and then you won't strip the threads and cross thread it. Now for the training wheels. This is how the training wheels should look. Now the rear wheel will already be on, the rear fender's on, this rack is on when you put it in the box. You do put this, the saddle, you drop the saddle in, and this you use a 4mm Allen wrench, which looks like this kind of tool. This is a 4mm Allen. But on the training wheels, back to the training wheels, you need a 15mm. And the same for the front wheel. You'll need a 15mm socket or wrench to put it on. There's a little bracket that sits right here in the dropout. You put that in, then you put the training wheel over the top, then the washer, then the nut, tighten it down, and then the cap. So that's pretty straightforward. It's 15mm on the back, 15mm on the front. It goes washer, nut, and then tighten it down, and then put the cap on so the kids don't get scratched. Then up on the top here, you'll need a 5mm Allen wrench that goes in here and tightens this down once you get it straightened up. And there's a little cap that goes on the top too, just to keep it nice. But this isn't a safety issue, it's just to keep it nice. There's also a reflector that goes on the stem, and I think that's it. I think the hardest part about putting this bike together is taking off all these little pieces. And that's it. So you can do it. You have the confidence. You can do it. Has a little bell. You'll have to use a screwdriver to adjust this. And then also in the front, you'll have to turn the handlebars. That's a 5mm as well. So that's what, and a 5mm Allen, which looks like this. So if you get stuck though, give me a call. We can go on FaceTime. You can show me where you're at, and I'll tell you what to do.